But if I have to wait for approval from someone in Washington, D.C., then it will take a lot more time. So it's hard to adapt. And it's easier to adapt here. If each individual person can adapt to the environment around them, and I'm mostly talking about economic conditions, they can adapt by buying more product, or if, let's say, the demand is less, then they can start cutting back quicker. So I want to also talk about, especially about the Fed, the state, and the local political system. And I think we have things kind of turned around. In a centralized system, you have the federal government is supreme and is large and has all the power, a lot of the power. So I would characterize it like this. At the top of so a small amount of local government, not much power, a little bit more at the state level, and then a large federal government. Okay? The way the founders of the country and the Constitution, the way it was supposed to be designed is that there was a small federal government. A lot of the decisions were left up to the state. And even better is a lot of decisions were left up to the local government. And that's because, you know, there's been a movement lately. There's even a tagline called, you know, buy local. You know, buy your food local. Buy from local stores instead of buying from Walmart, a big corporation. And what is the reason for that? That's because local business people are closer to the customer, they know what their needs are, they can better serve their needs, and if they don't provide a good service or product, they live in the same community that we do, and they're going to feel the heat from the customers, and hopefully will respond. So they can, there's rather than have a bureaucracy trying to fix every problem that a business might have providing shoddy service or products to the customers can take care of themselves. Okay, and so instead of having the Fed being supreme, what should happen is local, and that's what it is it's spreading the power across multiple entities. There is a role for the federal government, there is a role for the state government, and there's a role for the local government. But power is spread across a lot of different political parties, political entities. Where here you've got the power is concentrated. It's just like the big banks. You know, if there's 5 big banks and there's very few small banks, the big banks are so overwhelming the other banks. There can be a lot of bad things can happen because of the banks. They have so much more power than everybody else. So what are some of the advantages to a limited government? And you know, I'm calling it limited government for a reason. It's not like, you know, a lot of times people will say, well, conservatives don't like government, or they don't want any government. That's completely false. I believe that most, you know, we're not anarchists. That's one end of the spectrum. What we're saying is that there is a role for government, and if government stays within that role, then the people will have more freedom, more opportunity. And so, what are some of the advantages of limited government? Well, one of the first ones is keep it to its necessary functions. What is the role of government?